Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant.
What's up, people? We back.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
That Hotep Jesus dude.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
Welcome to the Grift Report. I'm your host.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
We're here every day at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. However, this week I will be in Miami, so I won't be streaming Thursday and Friday. But you can catch up with me. I will be on the news desk at the Bitcoin Miami conference. I'll be on the news desk Thursday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Covering all the details around Bitcoin and the Bitcoin conference. So make sure you check out the Bitcoin conference team, Bitcoin Magazine. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. If you're going to be down there, you need a ticket, holla at me. I got some extra tickets on me. Oh, snap. John Sepper. New member to the channel. Welcome. Shout out to Syscoin team. I'll be down there representing the Syscoin team as well and some of the side events. So, shout out to Wendy Yo, Patrick, Jag, Nathan, Alex, the whole squad down there. You ain't got no Syscoin in y'all wallet? Are y'all crypto heads? Do y'all have crypto? I hope you got some crypto. Hope you got some Syscoin. If you ain't got some Syscoin, go get you some. Participate in the ecosystem. I mean, it's either Syscoin or Fedcoin. I don't know which one you guys prefer. CBDC, you want Biden coin? Because that's coming. They're working on it. So shout out to the Syscoin team. I was with them down in Austin a few weeks ago. Had a really great time at the Rolux. They're coming after the gaming community, so that's going to be really, really dope. I have to apologize. I had a meeting right before I got on here, so my screens aren't set up. So I'm going to just take a half a second to just set those up. Close out some browser windows here. Okay, cool. So we can use this browser. Let's do that one. Let's minimize that. Let's bring this here. Okay, cool. You had a really good meeting before I came live today. Very productive. So good news coming soon. Can't wait to make that new announcement. There we go. Cool. You guys saw the new Master Focus commercial. You guys like that? You guys like that? If you're a member, you excuse me, if you're a member, you already had a glimpse. You saw that a few weeks ago, or a glimpse a few weeks ago. So you knew what I was up to. If you're not a member, then, well, it's new to you. We're running ads on that on Twitter. 30% off Master Focus. If you hit the link in my description box below, 30% off Master Focus. I would suggest getting the membership. Makes it super, super affordable. But yeah, that's the cheat code to life, Master Focus. So we got a mixed bag of grift today. So, you know, I was able to stuff the grift bag today with a lot of goodies. We're going to have fun today. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Doesn't look like we have to be too serious. But we got a nice little mixed bag of grift. And as you already know, we will open up the phone lines. But let's go to one of our fellow Hoteps first and foremost. He has a message about immigration, particularly illegal immigration. Let's go to Strong Dad Protocol. He has a message for us. Let's take a listen to this.
Y'all gonna hate me for this, but I don't actually care about the immigration issue at all.
Uh-oh. I hadn't listened to this at all. So I have no idea what he's about to say, and I'm already triggered. So let's see what he says.
There was a time when I was an employee in the trade industry that I cared very deeply. And a lot of black men, we had this same exact story. We talked about this in our community, on social medias. We tried to get people hip to what was going on, hip to our future in the trade industry, in the construction industry. And all y'all did was try to cancel us. You called us Trump voters. You called us Hotep. You said we were seeking access to white supremacy, yada, yada, yada. This is the same thing as the dashiki thing, right? Y'all been making fun of black men wearing dashikis forever. Wakanda comes out, and y'all showed up in dashikis and danced.
That is true. That is true. Shout out to Arif Leader. Sent $2. Appreciate you. Haram Life. What up, bro? What up, man? Thank you for sending me. He hit me with the Cash App. $ Hotep Jesus Cash App. Thanks, man. Khaled Cooper he sends us Bitcoin on Cash App. That's definitely appreciated. If you can send it in Bitcoin, that's also appreciated, man, because that stuff goes up in value. Let's go back to it.
For a fictional African place, a fictional world.
So he's right. You know, in the black community, and I was just speaking to, when we had the meeting, I was explaining this to someone that in the black community, the right-wing arm or conservative arm of the black community is labeled Hotep. And sometimes you'll see Uncle Hotep with his dashiki on, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you know, when we wore the dashiki, it was like, oh, these guys are being extremists. They're too African-centered, or they're Afrocentrist, or they're extremists. You know, it's all this lambastation, you know, of our likeness. And then as soon as Marvel decides they want to put out some black superheroes, now everybody wants to be from Africa. It's quite hypocritical. Let's go back.
You see what I'm saying? So this type of hypocritical behavior, I don't care about. I don't know sympathy for y'all. No more. Zero sympathy. And I own my own business. So now I don't even have a dog in this fight. As a matter of fact, I might pull up to Home Depot and get me a couple new employees. You see what I'm saying? Because dealing with y'all is like pulling teeth.
Oh, he's frustrated.
It's like pulling teeth. Y'all are the most regressive group of idiots I have ever come across.
Tell him how you feel, son. Tell him how you feel.
Come on now, man. We've been told you about this stuff. Hotep's been told y'all about this. Now y'all out there in the streets acting like Hoteps. Make that make sense.
Strong Dad Protocol on the check-in. You know, what he's saying here is he's expressing some frustration, right? Where, you know, and I've showed that article before on the Root about how illegal immigration hurts the black community, and Hoteps have talked about this consistently and profusely. And we've received a lot of pushback ever since the black community was co-opted by the Democratic Party, all the talking points co-opted by the Democratic Party, et cetera, et cetera. And now all of a sudden, you know, they want to talk about illegal immigration in Chicago and these other places and how it's hurting. And, you know, a lot of this comes back to the frustration where when we told people, hey, you know, you should probably vote for Trump, and everybody said, no, you know, you're a coon, you're a sellout, you're this and that. Well, you know, more invective comments. You know, they wanted to vote for Biden, and this is what you get. So I totally understand his frustration. Totally Chat, y'all agree with him? He went off, man. He went off. Hit the share button, hit the like button. We're just getting warmed up. We got some more Hotep to share with you today. Hold on, before we get to all the main topics. We got some more Hotep to share with you. Dr. Kaba Kamene, who we're bringing up next. Hold on, let me find a clip. Okay, here it is. So, I mentioned this brother's name on the Joe Rogan podcast a little while back as somebody who has been a remote mentor to me. I've interviewed him, I believe, twice in this channel. Absolute brilliant individual, somebody who has an extensive resume in education, both at the grade school level on through the university level. And it's really good to see him really get his flowers now. He's getting picked up on a lot of podcasts. People are talking to him. But it looks like in this particular clip, they're talking about Hotep and, you know, how Hotep has become a pejorative. So let's listen.
I might be in a room and somebody say, Hotep to you, brother. We automatically connect. Because I know you know now. I say Hotep to you, you say Hotep to me. Only special people know what that word means. That word was glue for us back in the 70s and 80s. It brought us together. It was a special word used by special people who were searching for truth, justice, honor, and integrity.
So you can see his term was used in communication with people of his community since the 70s. And he said that term was the glue. We're talking about predominantly black people, of course, right? It was the glue. Bonded us together, right? But nowadays, it's used as a pejorative, and he's sort of explaining this thing here. But it just to show you how much history there is here. This isn't some new phenomenon.
That Hotep, I'm proud to be Hotep. That's a very special word. I can't tell what other people did with that word. I can't be responsible for people who will co-opt that word and make it something that is not.
You heard what he said? Co-op. Remember we just talked about the last clip, how the Democrats have co-opted the black community, the black voices, the black media. They tried to co-opt the word Hotep. So people that are not familiar and they're wondering, how did I become Hotep? It's because the term was, they attempted to co-opt it. So I created a resistance. Myself, Uncle Hotep, Strong Dad Protocol, you know, you guys know, Cannon Hotep, all the way down the line. Doe Dubes is back on Twitter now. Make sure y'all follow Hotep Dubes. But we're trying to retain the legacy of the term, while Democrats have brainwashed I'll be honest with you, some of the greatest, smartest minds have been co-opted to label Hotep as something that's negative.
I can only tell you what Hotep means to me. And Hotep is a sacred word that means not just peace, but eternal peace. From your head top to where your shoes stop. I wish you eternal peace. I wish you nothing but the very best in your life.
Now imagine, this is very telling that Democrats would want to co-opt the word peace and make it out to be something negative. Because if you look at their policies, the way they operate in a paradigm that is counter to peace. So it makes sense that they would try to co-opt the term that means peace, eternal peace. It makes sense they would want to co-opt that. They don't want you spreading that vibration, that peace vibration to each other. They don't want black people saying peace to each other. They want you at war, because when you're at war, then they can come in and pretend to be your savior. They want black on black crime. They want poverty. They want war. They want conflict.
And everyone that's in your life, I wish you the very best. So Hotep is a special word. I cannot be responsible for people who have dirtied it. I can only tell you what it means to me. I will always use that word, but if someone has a problem with that word, I will not use that word with you. You say you don't want to use it, you don't deserve it. I will not.
You heard what he said? You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. And that's how we felt when we reclaimed the title. He said, you don't want it? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll do something useful with it. I'll put it on Rogan. I'll put it on Gutfeld. I'll be back on Gutfeld in 2 weeks. I'll put it on Gutfeld. I'll put it on Megyn Kelly. I'll put it on Piers Morgan. I'll do that. No problem. Hotep Nation will do that. Because Hotep Jesus is not one person. When I say I'm talking about multiple people. There's a conglomerate of people that make me possible. Shout out to Leah. Conglomerate of people that make this possible. But you don't want it? You don't deserve it. If you're going to take a term like that and destroy it, you don't deserve it.
I'll give it to you. I will not take my sacred legacy and allow you to misinterpret it.
Facts. And that was my motive. I'm not going to allow you to take our legacy and pervert it.
So that's when you say Hotep brother, I just wanted to clear that to help us understand what that word really means to us as a people and where it came from. It came from us going to Kemet. It came to us meeting our Nubian brothers and sisters. In fact, there came a time when we would go, they would say to us Hotep. We taught them the word Hotep. That's how.
When he says them, he's talking about Egyptians, because Kemet is the original name of that land, although extended much further than the geographical location and borders of modern-day Egypt. But many of the Egyptians aren't familiar with that history. And he's saying we taught them about these terms.
How deep it got. Hotep brother, Hotep Nubian brother, Hotep Nubian sister. That's what that word Hotep means. It brought us together. It bonded us in a world that was very hostile to us. And if you listen to Kevin Hart, they're still hostile. I might be.
So Kevin Hart wanted to do a documentary on the origins of Egypt, et cetera, and Egypt lit into him. And I was speaking to Shaka Atmos about this, because anytime you try to talk about the black presence in Egypt, you're going to have a strong resistance from Egypt, the Egyptian government, and so on and so forth. And Shaka purports that it's because of tourism. He's saying that, well, if you change the race of people that are responsible for, the pyramids, that could kill tourism in that area. And he said it's all about the mighty green dollar. And I'll bring Shaka on. We're going to have Shaka back on soon, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, Egypt is going to have a lot of pushback in regards to pointing out the black presence in that region of the world. Let's go back in the Grift bag before I get in my super Hotep ways. Somebody said, what'd you say in the chat? Hold on. My bad. One of the best interviews on his channel. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Renee Vogel, Steph Colonel in the chat. Appreciate you, man. All right, let's go back in the Grift bag. It's a lot of grifting going on in here today. Since we're talking about Hoteps, we got to go to the Kang himself, Uncle Hotep. I'm just playing this clip because it's just really entertaining. So let's go to the clip. You guys are gonna enjoy this.
Nudge me in the face.
So Uncle Hotep used to be a correction officer and worked in a prison. So he's telling a story about being a correctional officer.
I took a step back. And he got ducked, so I didn't really catch him like I wanted to, right? So I hit him dead in the forehead, right? So I was like, bam, right? He grabbed me. I start giving him uppercuts, like, oh. Jason Rose, if anything happened to the guy he forehead punched got his revenge. I seen him one day outside of the jail.
Did you?
I was down in Wilmington with my boy Dog Time. Shout out Dog Time.
Was it after you retired?
Huh?
This was after you retired?
Yeah, after I quit.
And what happened?
Dog Time knew him. Dog Time knew him. My boy knew him.
Oh, okay.
The boy was from Wilmington.
So
the boy's name I hit was Boo Bussin' Nut. That was his nickname, Boo Bussin' Nut. I don't know.
Pause. What? Boo Bussin' Nut.
Yeah. That's what they call him. Don't get me started. That's some Wilmington shit, man. Nerd to tell you.
Delaware different, man. It's different down there, yo. It's a whole nother universe in Delaware, man. So what happened?
I mean, he looked at me. He was like, "Yo," but he seen I was with Dog Time, and he was like, "Ah,
oh, you good? You good?
Yeah,
you lucky you was with Dog Time." You'd have been in a little scuffle. Punched you right in the forehead. That's a clip from Hotep's Been Told You, our premiere show on this channel. Usually on Thursdays. This week I'll be out of town, so we'll be recording tomorrow, or we'll live stream tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys are here for that very special episode of Hotep's Been Told You. Let's go back in the Grift bag. I had to share that clip. That clip is just epic. We got some AI Senate hearing stuff to cover. We got some BLM stuff to cover. Of course, we're gonna be talking about Trump. But we still got some foolishness to entertain before we get into all of that. But first, let's go to our boy James O'Keefe. Thank you. Remember James O'Keefe? Mr. I Built Project Veritas, did they let me go? Let's go to that. Let's pull up. He's back at it. He says here, oh my God, exclusive. Fox Insider Tell-All says Tucker termination was part of Dominion settlement. Discusses shady work of friend, former Biden operative Mike LaRosa, now working for Dominion. When it's corporate media, you're beholden to advertisers. We take money from Pfizer. Let's go to the clip.
$144 million to settle that Dominion lawsuit.
Oh, that was with the Dominion company. What happened with that? Like,
they gave him money, and part of it, they say it wasn't part of it, but we're learning that Tucker getting fired was part of that.
Tucker getting fired was part of the Dominion lawsuit?
As part of the settlement. Yeah, he was asked to. When it's corporate media and you're beholden to advertisers, right?
Well, it's either Pillow Guy or it's brought to you by Pfizer, right? It's like
it's big pharma.
Yeah.
Now this is a 7-minute clip. We're not going to play any more of this, but you heard what he said. Now I don't know about how valid his claims are from this whistleblower, et cetera, et cetera. But what he's basically saying here is that the Tucker situation was part of the settlement. They said, listen, Fox, part of this settlement is you got to get rid of that guy. He was the one kicking up all the dust and all the noise. So people have been wondering, and some people have speculated that it was part of the settlement. I'm sure some people had spoken about that. And looks like we have more evidence from a whistleblower here, or an accidental whistleblower, Sean Legile, I think his name is, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you're wondering what's going on with Tucker and what happened with Tucker, there's your answer. There's your answer. That's absolutely wild. That's absolutely wild that something like that could be caught up in a lawsuit. Give us money and fire that guy. But as we know, we've covered Tucker on this channel before, over the past few weeks, kind of had to. But Tucker's going to be independent now. And I think he's more dangerous to the establishment independent than anything else. he's going to have a bigger reach. I think maybe Fox could have been holding him back, a guy like that. I mean, Fox, a guy like me, Fox could blow me up. But I think the opposite is true with a guy like Tucker. But yeah, I don't want to talk too bad about my future employees. I mean, my future employer.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
But yeah, that's kind of wild. So I don't know what's going on up there, but hopefully when some lawsuits go down, they don't can Hotep Jesus in the mix of all of that. Let's go to Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh has some, we talk about
single moms need
relationships
much
on this
more
channel. So this is our relationship clip of the day. Matt Walsh. Let's see what Matt Walsh has to say.
Single moms need much more support because they aren't getting it from the fathers of their children, which is where the support is supposed to come from, which isn't to say, by the way, that single moms are all, the victims of deadbeats who ran out on them. Far from it. In fact, one of the reasons why we should not be throwing parades for single moms is that many of them choose to be this way. They
Bro, becoming a single mom is like an industry now. It's like a market, and women champion this stuff as if it's something to be proud of. And you can market products to single moms. It's kind of wild. Now, if you're a single mom and it's not by choice, I would not put you in this category. We're specifically talking about single moms who chose to be single moms, mostly because I would say they're selfish. They're putting themselves first. A lot of this stuff comes back to welfare. You remember talking about this extensively in the black community, where they were incentivized to kick the father out of the home in order to receive benefits. So kick dad out and Uncle Sam replaces dad, at least somewhat financially. And really what this comes down to, I think, is two things. Grass looks greener on the other side of the street, and laziness. Relationships take a lot of work. So you might be with a guy who isn't quite where he would like to be, or where you think he needs to be, or where you would like him to be. And you're impatient. You're not willing to grow with this individual and wait for him to blossom, especially when we're talking about younger gentlemen, right? So I remember being 21 and having a child, and 25, and the mortgage crisis happened, and I lost my career, and I was zeroed out. And in the eyes of my family, I was a complete failure because, well, I struggled to pay my bills on the month. Now, if you would look at me then, you would say, a woman would probably not want to date me. I was a brokey. I was a broke boy. But I believed in myself, and I knew that what I was building at the time would compound, and I'd have a successful career. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that was shed during that time period to reach the point where we are now, where I have some level of success. But at that point, some people didn't believe in me, right? And they made certain decisions based upon where I was at the time. But hindsight is 20/20, and looking back now, and those people are like, wait, this is a high value man, right? So you might have situations where women aren't looking at longevity. They're not looking at, does this, I think the main thing a woman has to look at is in a person is, does he have a plan, and does he have ambition? Because if he has ambition, then that means he's working towards making this plan a dream. So the more detailed the plan, the better it is, or the more likely it is to come to fruition. And I think if women, and the thing is, women want to cash out early via the government, child support, et cetera, which is a really divisive thing. I mean, it's really embarrassing too. You go to work and now your boss is like, hey, you don't take care of your kids. I just got a notice from the state that says I got to garnish your check. People don't understand that. Now you look like a deadbeat, and then now the government's involved in your relationship between your child. Now it's like, I'm going to drop off the kid here and then I'll see you next week, and that whole situation. So it's really ugly, especially when you're getting the government involved, but it's just short-term thinking. You need to say, well, what is this person's 10-year projection? Where are they going to land 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And do they have the potential to reach these goals? Now, if this is a guy who's sitting on his ass all day playing video games, not doing anything with, like, not building anything, okay, yeah. Now, the other thing is the grass is green on the other side. So, you know, it might be a situation where we're at, let's call it a race, right? And you got the starting point and then you got the finish line. And, you know, at the age of 21 or 25 or wherever this guy is in his life, a woman is with him, but she sees a guy at the same age and he's doing better than them, better than the man she's with at the time. Might not be doing a lot better than, or maybe is doing a lot better than, but then what happens is you fast forward 10 years and he's eclipsed that individual and is like, wait, the man, he was behind in his race, now he's ahead of his race and he's lapping his competition. So it's like you have to have this long-term look, but social media also plays a factor because now she has access to the dating market. She can market herself on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it may be, and she can start taking leads for a potential new mate, replacement, et cetera, who she perceives to be higher value. So I think the main issue here is she's dumping the child. That's really who's going to be hurting here because he's not going to have that that foundation, you know, that family bond, you know, being around two parents all the time, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I believe the children lose out. But a lot of this stuff comes back to being selfish. Let's go back to Matt Walsh and see what he has to say.
Choose to be single moms. The majority of divorces are initiated by women, and the majority of divorces cite things like money and irreconcilable differences, quote unquote, as the reason for the split. So these are not all or even mostly women who had to flee from horribly abusive men. In many cases, these are women who chose single motherhood as a lifestyle, believing that the father of their children is expendable.
Yeah. Believing that he's expendable, yeah. And a lot of times that comes back to the fact that they just don't see much value in him. And that's what we were talking about before, the perceived value currently as opposed to what his value is in the future. So you have to be able to judge a man's potential. And Rollo talks about this. He says a lot of times women just wait at the finish line for the winner. Not too many women are going to, you know, hang out with you or hang in there with you throughout the race.
It's like an ego trip. Well, I can do both. Oh, we don't need you. Our kids don't need you. And this is a message that society seeks to reinforce. That's why they really want us to celebrate single motherhood. The left sees stable two-parent households as an existential threat to their agenda, which they are.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. What I've said in the past was only dads could save America.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Only dads can save America. And a lot of it comes back to the fact that we're the ones protecting the family. And protection isn't always manifested physically. We're talking about protecting your family spiritually and mentally. You know, what are the spiritual values, the religious values that the man instills in the family and reinforces? And what are the mental lessons and ideology that he instills in the family, the children, et cetera, et cetera. So protecting people mentally, protecting your children from not liberal discourse, but the liberal agenda. We want to talk about the liberalism because if you don't talk about it, it's like you're hiding it, right? So now the kids are going to be curious. So you got to have the discourse, but you have to protect your children from the agenda and expose them to the agenda at a pretty early age. Definitely, like, you know, when they become teenagers is probably the best time to sit down and have that talk. You know, back in the day, it used to be, hey, you know, let's talk about the birds and the bees. Now it's about, you know, let's talk about communism and socialism and liberalism and the Democrats and the rainbow and all of these divisive tactics surrounding race. Like, these are the things you now have to warn each other, because the left is trying to introduce the birds and the bees now pretty much at birth. You know, kid in kindergarten, they're trying to introduce that conversation, right? So now we're talking about homeschooling, pulling kids away from being educated by all these liberal women, et cetera, et cetera. But this is a huge problem. Let's go back.
Children from those kinds of households are going to be less vulnerable less susceptible to the push and pull of the greater culture. Not immune from it, obviously, but less susceptible. And that's the problem the left has with two-parent households. They don't want us raising and caring for our own kids.
Facts. If you can divide the family, then the family is going to need to depend on the state, the political party, et cetera, and that's part of the agenda. You know, if we can intercept the family, co-opt the family, divide the family, and I always use this as an example. And we talk about the different cabals and secret societies, and you know the redacted or the powers that be, you know, the lizard men. It all comes back to family. You know, they say, you know, families run the world, right? So if they know the power in family that it has for them, they can't allow another family to come around, because that would be a competition. I'll show you a really good book. I think it's 60 Families. Is that what it's called? Yeah, here it is. So I'll put this on the screen for you. Let's see here. Hold on. All right, let's right there. So you see I have the wiki page up here for you. And America's 60 Families. Written by American journalist Ferdinand Lundberg, published in 1937. And this was a book I read mostly because I was writing my book, The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money and War, available now on
Hotep, you're a genius, HotepJesus.com.
and Amazon. So go to HotepJesus.com, get a copy of that. But I wanted to understand this global power, or this Western power, or as they mention here, plutocratic circle. And you come to find out it's about roughly 60 families. And in this book, he names, you know, Rockefellers, Morgan, Ford, Vanderbilt, Mellon, Guggenheim, Whitney, DuPont, Astor families. So if you really want to know about the power of family, go look at the families that built the Western world. Family. You know, yes, there are secret societies. That's no secret. However, there are groups of families. So there's a wonderful document here. I suggest you all, I mean, it's such an old book. You can probably get one. You can probably download this for free online. You don't exactly have to purchase a copy, although you might want to. Keep that archive for in case, you know, 1984 rolls around. But, you know, like I said, power is in family. And they know that because that's how they got power.
They don't want the home to be a fortress protecting against insidious societal influences. They want our kids vulnerable, exposed. And that's why they present single motherhood as an ideal. It is ideal to them and their agenda. They just forget to mention that part.
Now, he's on point. I also like to mention is, because men are more logical and women are more emotional, women are easy to manipulate. We know that through advertising and marketing. But the foot soldiers for the left are mostly women. Women are loud. They're going to complain. You know, all you got to do is just recall the saga of the Karen. You know, the last thing you want is a Karen calling customer service on you, calling your job, getting you fired. We saw the deranged Karen yesterday with the brothers with the city bike getting unlocked, and she pulled out the crocodile tears, et cetera, et cetera. So the female power, the female force, the female energy is useful. So they like to co-opt it. It's very powerful, female energy. So they co-opt it and they use it. And you'll even see that with Black Lives Matter. They say, well, women were on the front lines of the movement. Women were on the front lines of the movement. Where were men? Men were at home not being manipulated. That's where the men were. You were manipulated into going out into these streets and looking like a damn fool. Let's go back in the grift bag. I like what Matt Walsh said there. So I had to share that with y'all. Let's go back in the grift bag. We got a few things to cover here. I am gonna update you too on the AI, the artificial intelligence hearing. Let's touch on this really, really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm seeing this get passed around. Defund the FBI. Defund the FBI. And this is just a little bit weird. Like, I get it. Okay. Yes. I understand what we saw. We're going to talk about that later. The Durham Report, Trump, FBI, speculation surrounding Patriot Front being, federal agents, et cetera, et cetera. But defund the FBI sounds to me like defund the police. And for the right, I think that's quite hypocritical. Investigate the FBI, sue the FBI. I think it's dangerous when, to own the left, we pick up the left's rhetoric, because defund the FBI can easily turn into defund the police. And I know, you guys want to back the blue, but FBI is a form of police. So you're basically saying the same thing as lefties. You look like the lefties. And I think that's part of the trick, is to make you sound like lefties. So now you're in the same boat asking to defund the police. And I don't think that's the right messaging. Like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on that. I just want to put that in your ear, give that some thought, because we're going to open up phone lines in a little bit too. So if you guys want to talk about that, we could talk about that. Let's go to Black Lives Matter. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but take a look at this, man. Currently in Washington, D.C., you want a picture of the future, imagine a pride march stamping on a human face forever. I don't know what that caption means, and I'm not going to put any brain power to it. But you can see here the combination of BLM and BTLM, which we've said from the very beginning that BLM was an organization primarily for the exploitation of the rainbow. So Marxism attaches itself. I'll show you what that looks like. Let's pull this up. I'll show you what Marxism looks like. So I Googled here parasite in nature, and we have a few examples here. I'm trying to find a good one. I'm familiar with that one. All right, let's go with this one. So here, put this on your screen so you can see it. So here you have a frog, but it's being wholly manipulated, as you can see from the extra legs there, by a parasite. So this is Marxism. So the frog in this case would be the plight of the black community, or the perceived struggle. Notice I said perceived struggle, because the real struggle for the black community is lack of access to the free market because of the gross inflation of Marxism, socialism, communism, mostly because of the practices by central banking, inflation, stealing our labor through inflation. And again, we cover this in the Patriot Report, available on Amazon and HotepJesus.com. So using this example, what we have here is the frog would be black people, and the parasite would be the rainbow. But the rainbow disguises itself as Black Lives Matter, aka the alleviation of black problems. So it's almost really, to take it a little bit further here. Let's give me that. We have a Trojan horse. Okay. A Trojan horse. And I'm surprised. Well, there may be some Trojan horse. Let's see if anybody has created that. Well, somebody needs to create a Trojan horse illustration for BLM, because, well, frankly, that's what it is. So everybody is familiar with the Trojan horse analogy, et cetera, et cetera. So inside BLM, is the insertion of the rainbow. Now, many, many years ago, 2015, I told people there would be a huge explosion in homosexuality and the proliferation of homosexuality. Anybody familiar with the work of Frances Cress Welsing or Dr. Neely Fuller, she has a presentation on this. I think everyone should go check that out. Let's see if we can pull it up here. ISIS Papers, here it is. Ooh, is this the presentation? Here we go. Is this the full one? Yeah, I think this is it right here. So I'm not gonna, play it, whatever, but in the ISIS Papers, she basically says in the future, men will be wearing dresses, they will be feminized, et cetera, and then she even offers a presentation here. She does a presentation based upon all of this stuff. So this is, and she's deceased now. And when she was deceased, Mark Lamar Hill stepped on her grave. Why? Well, because she was exposing the agenda. And this presentation here is from 2010, okay? So she was exposing the agenda. This is back in 2010 when she was exposing the agenda of the coming invasion of LGBTism. So that's the ISIS paper. Let me see, Frances Welsing, for anybody who wants to do their homework on that. And it's funny because when I was a kid, my dad made me read the book. I had to read the book and write a report on it. But I'm thinking this is another one. Is this another presentation she did? Anyway, people would label her Hotep. They would say, all those Hoteps, they're homophobic, et cetera, right? And I wish they would put timestamps on this. So coming back to my point, they were exposing this agenda coming from a mile away. And when we checked the BLM website, of course, we saw men were omitted. We had to, they completely erased us from history on the BLM website unless it was, time to slander us. And you saw a lot of this rhetoric. This is 2014, 2015, and I put out a video, and it was, what was it? All right, lives matter. Okay. Let's see if it pops up in the search here. Because I did this video a while back. You can tell this was old. Here it is. Wait, hold on. No, that's not it. That was an ad I think I just clicked on. Here we go. So right here, see my hair is much shorter. This is 7 years ago. So July 10th, 2015, you can see me here. This is in Florida. And I said, Black Lives Matter, the gay agenda. This old video of mine. And I was warning people about this.
Black Lives Matter movement. I wanted to believe in it, but I can't anymore because it's been co-opted by the gay agenda. Now, let me just say I have no problem with gays, but this thing is being derailed. So in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, how do we go from Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice to Gay Lives Matter? And I'm gonna show y'all exactly how this happened. And I was first tipped off by this because, of course we have our own nation. And that's...
So right here, it says, it goes beyond the narrow nationalism. So this, even at this point, they're attacking nationalism. And it said that can be prevalent within black communities. So you can see here, they're pointing out that the black community had aspects of nationalism, which merely call on black people to love black, live black, and buy black, keeping straight cis black men in the front of the movement, while our sisters, queer and trans and disabled folk, take up roles in the background or not at all. So you can see that division that was created there. It says Black Lives Matter affirms the lives of black, queer, and trans folk, disabled folk, black undocumented folk, folks of records, women, and all black lives along the gender spectrum. It centers on those that have been marginalized within black liberation movements. It is a tactic to rebuild black liberation movement. So they're telling you this exactly has nothing to do with quote unquote white supremacy or fighting white folks. This has everything to do with an attack on black men, straight, what they call cis black men, not to be confused with Siscoin. Keeping straight, cis black men in the front of the movement. This is an attack on black men and propping up these other groups. And it says right here, it centers those who have been marginalized within black liberation movements. So basically they understood that there were black liberation movements, quote unquote Hotep, right, which are nationalists, which are capitalist. And they said, what we're going to do is we are going to co-opt that. And it said, is it a tactic to rebuild the black liberation movement? And this, and you're going to hear some people talk about how Barack Obama was a part of this co-op, right, where black people were starting to organize. They were starting to tackle black on black crime. They're starting to get control of their communities. All these things are starting to organize, are starting to happen. Khalid Muhammad, H. Rat Brown, all these people are working. Then Obama, the black savior, comes out and everybody relaxed. So Obama, you know, de facto was part of destroying black, what they call black liberation movements. And then the final nail in the coffin is Black Lives Matter, who comes around and says, we are going to rebuild the black liberation movement, basically co-opt. All right. And then we're going to go into the next thing here. And this is a screenshot I have, and it says right here, Black Lives Matter Network, Black Youth Project, Ferguson Action. And we spoke about Ferguson, et cetera, because that was Darren Seals. And Darren Seals said when BLM came to town, he had to smack DeRay in his face. Now, I don't believe in violence. I don't condone violence. But he said he sniffed it out that these people were co-opting what was happening in Ferguson over there.
Going to be used for 3 organizations.
So I was breaking that down. What's the next slide I got up here? Okay, so right here, number 2, committed to building black politic in queer, feminist, womanist, positive space, right? They laid it all out. I pulled this right from their website. This was back when I used to edit videos. And here's the clip from Darren Seals. Now everybody knows about Mike Brown. Everybody knows about Ferguson. Well, when Mike Brown was murdered by the police, Darren Seals was right there hugging Mike Brown's mom. And this is what he says about BLM. Now he's dead now. Mysteriously was murdered. That's this. We've been speculating that he was murdered. He was found with his car on fire, set on fire. Some people think it was local police. I don't know. But you see what he says right here about BLM. Those them frauds. LGTB disguised as us. They mean us no good. This is on the ground in Ferguson from day one. All right. And then what else is in this video? So you guys can go watch that video, Black Lives Matter, the Gay Agenda. It's an old video I did. Oh, what? That's not the right place. I want to stop. I look crazy. Anyway, damn, I was super skinny there too. Let's go back. So now we see this, and it's no mystery how these things came to be. But as you can see, we were warning people 2015. So you wonder why I was a Trump guy. I'm like, because I knew the agenda. I knew we weren't going to support Hillary. This is how we come to be, and this is the new thing. So they're going to take our problems as black people and co-opt it with the T people. So now you can't even be pro-black unless you're pro-trans. Facts. In many of these liberal black liberation movements, they'll put you on the spot in some of these discussions. They'll be like, you support black life? Yeah. What about trans people? And it's just like, wait, how did we make that leap to trans people? How did we do that? And here it is manifested right in our nation's capital. Let's go back in the grift bag. It's a grifty Tuesday. Got a little bit more to cover here, and then we'll open up phone lines. Let's look at this. I wear booty shorts to the gym, but I don't want male attention. Now, if you call them booty shorts, that's the first red flag. If you're calling them booty shorts, right? Now, I got to be honest with you. If you want to wear these shorts and go to the gym, that's your prerogative. However, you should expect male attention. You should absolutely expect male attention when you dress like this in the gym. Am I saying that women dress like this for male attention? Some do, some don't. I would even say, especially when you're doing lower leg workouts, you probably want to have on smaller shorts because you don't want to restrict yourself. You want to have full range of motion, unrestricted. So I can understand that. But the way they making these things, like they're starting to put the scrunchy part, it's like scrunching up in your crack now, and you know, it's got shadows built in to make your butt look better. And, you know, now we're definitely talking about fashion and looking more attractive. If you got the scrunchy part in your butt, if you got the fake shadows all around your booty to make it look like your booty's bigger than what it is, you're not wearing the shorts for a good workout. You're wearing the shorts to look more attractive. Whether that's for male attention, female attention, or some other gender or alien or whatever is a whole nother story. But you are doing it to look more attractive. And I got to call BS on that. Let's go back in the Grift bag. I'm going to just run through some of these before we get to the hard-hitting facts. And then we'll open up phone lines. Shout out to the chat. Where the chat at? Chat in here? Thank you for the super chats. We're going to get to the super chats as well. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Now look at this. Let's look at this. Shamika Michelle posted this video. And let's play it.
FYI, it's she, her, hers. And you're lucky. You're lucky I'm not trying to be a man. Because if I was, I'd be much better than you are.
I'm confused. She said, I'm not trying to be a man. Pronouns are still her, hers. But she chopped her titties off. And she flexing like how a man would. If you don't want to be a man, why'd you chop your titties off? Why'd you cut your hair? I'm confused. Now you can do what you want, but my issue is, why are you always thinking about us? If you want to chop your titties off and live an alternative lifestyle, go right ahead. But why are you worried about us men? Well, and this is the problem. They're always, remember we talked about Black Lives Matter website targeting black men. Don't mention us. Leave us out. Go chop your titties off and go be with whoever you want to be with and be whatever you want to be. But why do we have to be the center of your attention?
I listen to women. I respect them. I mean, and most importantly,
where are the nipples? Where are you? Got your titties chopped off. They didn't put your nipples back on. Yo, are they in a plastic bag somewhere as souvenirs? Where are your nipples? And why don't you have any?
My shit, it don't go down.
Your shit, it don't go down because it's plastic. And you listen to women and you understand them because you're a bitch. And no one is interested in those but lesbians.
Shamika Michelle, savage. Like I said, it's grifting season. It's ugly out here. A lot of people are grifting. Please don't grift off black men. Leave us alone, man. We back in the grift bag. Speaking of the T people, look at this. 2023 Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition cover models a biological male with fake boobs. I really hope men are done with Sports Illustrated, says Scarlett Johnson. I don't know if this is real. I guess it is. but this is apparently a T person on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I'm just wondering, are they telling men this? Are they? Let's pull up the article and see. Are they telling us what's happening?
And I don't think, oh my God, winning a Grammy was so unexpected, so just kind of insane life moment. I don't think anything could have prepared me, and I don't think I'll ever really have that feeling again.
Hey, what's up? I'm Kim Petras, and I'm shooting for Sports Illustrated swimsuit. I was so excited when I got the call to be in Sports Illustrated.
Now, ZV Bear said you always got to check out the feet. If you look at the feet, they always tell you, what the person is, okay? So notice the feet. I'm trying to see if the feet will be covered up.
It's very iconic, and a lot of very iconic people have done it before. So, big dream come true for me, and I was definitely nervous. I was like, can I pull it off? But now that we're doing it, I feel like I can.
Billboard. It's a billboard. I hope people take away from this that I look really hot and Sports Illustrated is cool.
So far, it's going so smooth, so I'm so happy.
Growing up in the suburbs in Cologne, Germany, I wasn't
Okay, so it says earlier this year, the German-born pop star made history as the first T woman to win a Grammy Award. So they do tell you in the article that this is a T woman. And I don't really want to sit here and watch the whole video. It's just going to make me nauseous. And I just had an apple earlier, and I really don't want to regurgitate my meal. But what else happened? And I'm going to ask you, Western man, to make your choice. Who else was on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart is on the cover of Sports Illustrated, looking like eye candy. So I got to ask you, chat. We're going to put the poll up in the chat. Fellas only. And let's add an option, I am a woman. Martha or T woman? Which one you going for? Tell me, which one is your pick? Which one are y'all picking? Which way, Western man? I'm saying right now, I'm taking down Martha Stewart. Not even gonna blink. She looks amazing. I don't know how old Martha Stewart is. I don't care. She looks absolutely amazing. Now, I don't want to sexualize her because, well, it's Martha Stewart, right? She's more like, an older lady you admire, because she's a good person, right? And, the black community loves Martha Stewart because she served time and then she came out, started working with Snoop Doggy Dogg. So we love Martha. And I think she looks absolutely amazing. This is much better than giving us T people. At least she's a woman. Wait, am I allowed to say that? I'm sorry, YouTube. I take that back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. What's happening over on Rumble? Shout out to my Rumblers rumbling. I appreciate you. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button too. Let's jig the algo. Chat, we got 85%. Oh my God, 85%? 15% of you, well, maybe some, okay. 1% chose T women. Who is that 1%? Who is that? Who are you? Show yourself. Who selected the T woman? I need to know. And I got no problem. If that's your preference, I said something controversial the other day, right? And I said, is it gay if a man has relations with a T woman? And I said, I believe the answer is no. You're not gay, because gay would be homosexual, and that would be a man presenting himself as a man. But if you're a man and you're presenting yourself as a woman, or you've transitioned into becoming a woman or whatever the hell's going on, and you still got your dang-a-langing, right? He's hanging out, whatever he's doing. I remember Mr. C. Mr. C is a famous DJ. He's passed away since. But it was several times he got caught picking up trans prostitutes. He liked trans women. I wasn't going to be like, yo, we're canceling Mr. C because that's what he likes. But he wasn't picking up other men, like men presenting themselves as men. All right. He wanted them to dress up like a woman. So I would say these people are trans attracted. That's what I would call them. Trans attracted. Trans attracted. I'm sticking to that. Now, I'm definitely not trans attracted. I love women, biological, through and through. Got to look like a woman, got to be a woman. So I ain't dealing in that. But I think we have to make the distinction between the two. It's very important to make the distinction because gay is gay. Being homosexual means you like men that look like men. That's very specific, as opposed to you like men that present themselves as women. Two different things. But anyway, Martha Stewart looks absolutely amazing. I support Martha Stewart on the cover of Sports Illustrated. At least she's a woman. Let's go back in the Grift bag. We got more to cover, and then we're going to open up phone lines. Let's see what's up with the artificial intelligence hearing really fast, and then we'll get to the Trump stuff.
Look, we have tried to be very clear about the magnitude of the risks here. I think jobs and employment and what we're all going to do with our time really matters. I agree that when we get to very powerful systems, the landscape will change. I think I'm just more optimistic that we are incredibly creative and we find new things to do with better tools, and that will keep happening. My worst fears are that we cause significant, the field, the technology.
First of all, I do not agree with having a Senate hearing on AI. This is a very bad idea. Government involved in AI, basically what they're going to do is they're going to put up barriers that say, these people are allowed to use AI and these are the limitations. The people will have another AI and this is their set of limitations. So it's going to be AI for them and leftover AI for the rest of us, and will prosecute you for using full-blown AI. So anytime you have government trying to legislate things and put things in bills, you're going to have a huge, huge problem. I do not want to see government in this conversation.
The industry cause significant harm to the world. I think that could happen in a lot of different ways. It's why we started the company. It's a big part of why I'm here today and why we've been here in the past and we've been able to spend some time with you. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong, and we want to be vocal about that. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening.
You heard he said, we want to work with the government. We want to work with the government. It's a bad idea.
But we try to be very clear-eyed about what the downside case is and the work that we have to do to mitigate that.
Thank you.
Look, we have.
So we'll update you on that. I'll probably take a look at it while we're doing phone calls, but they have a Senate hearing happening right now on artificial intelligence. Really, really bad idea. Really, really scary. Let's go to the Trump stuff. Let's do a flashback. Let's see what Adam Schiff had to say about my president in the past.
Now is a circumstantial case.
Actually, no, Chuck. I can tell you that the case is more than that, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is...
I can't go into the particulars. Why? Because you have no particulars?
There's more than circumstantial evidence now, so again, I think...
So you have seen direct evidence of collusion?
I don't want to go into specifics.
That's a yes or no question. He didn't ask you to go into specifics. That's a yes or no question. This is how you can sniff out BS.
But I will say that there is evidence that is not circumstantial and is very much worthy of investigation.
Now, now is a circumstance.
Liar. Let's see what Greg Gutfeld has to say about all of this. My homie, Ace Bone Cone, Greg Gutfeld. Let's see what he has to say about all of this Senate stuff. I mean, all this Russia collusion, Durham Report stuff. Then we'll open up phone lines.
You have people saying that the country will not survive Trump, then your moral duty is to cheat, right? And you should cheat it. Like if somebody is telling everybody that this person is a modern day Hitler, it is your duty to do whatever is possible to stop him. In fact, if you actually play by the rules, you're a traitor, right? So they created a devil that was so big and so vast, it made all actions permissible. And it made every institution as
bars. It made, and that's a great point Greg made right there. It made every action permissible. So if you wanted to burn down a city, permissible. Who's the black lady out there? I always want to call her Margaret Sanger for some reason. And not MTG, the black lady out there in Cali with all the money, got a daughter in a good job, look like James Brown. I always forget her name. This is how unmemorable she is. But she was basically saying, like, push back against them, roll up on people in the streets. So he's right. You know, all actions were permissible. Very, very dangerous, president they set that basically authorized Maxine Waters, thank you. Maxine Waters. They authorized basically violence against fellow American citizens.
As the judge was saying, subject to suspicion, right? So you can bury stories, you can create hoaxes, you can fund smears. It can go anywhere because this person...
You could fund smears. Fund the smears.
Must be stopped. It's Hitler, an existential threat. And so what happened...
Yeah, and that comparison to Hitler was just egregious, deplorable, unforgivable, downright dirty to compare Trump to Hitler. Again, hyperbole, yellow journalism. They will use hyperbolics. They'll lie. They'll cheat. This is how they get down.
What happens is now we're left and none of it's true. And so we had a half a decade hoax that infected and undermined every institution because we were made to believe this person is evil. And then people make fun of people who are skeptical about an election.
Right. Right. I mean, is it election meddling when you pull something off like this? I believe Ben Shapiro compared this to Watergate. He said this is worse than Watergate. Comic Dave Smith said this is, one of the worst things he's seen historically in the United States of America.
Why shouldn't they be skeptical about an election when the DOJ and the FBI and the mainstream media and the tech companies and the Chamber of Commerce are all in on the same thing? Why shouldn't the election be called into question, right? Shouldn't a hero try to fix the election, right? Shouldn't a hero do that? If you're up against Hitler, that's where we ended up. And you can't go and condemn people for so-called conspiracy theories when you were going around telling everybody this guy was worse than Hitler.
No, and if you listen to
bars. I want to pull up Comic Dave Smith's tweet. He had a tweet go viral today. I want to pull that up for just a moment here. He's over there, Mises Caucus, Libertarian Party, etc., etc. Here it is. He says the Durham Report gives us more information about what was already clear. The last president was framed for treason by his own intelligence agencies in an attempted coup. Truly one of the craziest stories in U.S. history. But will this story be told? Will this story be put in your Houghton Mifflin textbooks to your children? Will the people of the future hear Trump was a bad guy, so therefore it was worth it? They had to do that to stop him? Or will they hear the truth and say this is corruption in its highest form. What will the history books of the future say? My guess is, since the left loves to co-opt education, they might omit this from history completely. You'll have to go dig this up, just like you'll have to dig up how Prescott Bush was holding gold for the Nazis, etc., etc. Treasonous activity. You know, they don't teach that stuff in school. Will this be one of those situations? Or will they tell the truth in the future and say, this was disgusting behavior by Hillary Clinton, who basically orchestrated the entire thing based upon the Durham Report? The Durham Report basically said Hillary Clinton devised the whole thing. I'll show that in just a second. Here she is lying again. Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking Trump organization to a Russian-based bank. Found out that was a lie. Hold on, let me see if we can find that clip. What did they call it? They called it Hillary Intelligence. Hillary's intelligence plan, I think is what they called it. But the fact that this isn't turning into prosecutions, like the Durham Report's actually like kind of light work. Okay, it's very light. Is this it? Under FBI's, hold on, let's put this on the screen. It says here, under the FBI's guidelines, the investigation could have been opened more appropriately as an assessment of preliminary investigation. FBI could have taken one or more of the following sensible steps. So basically saying, you know, FBI didn't do its job, or did it? But currently I'm looking for the actual report. I'm sure I could just pull it up faster on the screen. Here we go. Found it. Is this it? No, that's not it. Hold on. I'll just pull the report up. Here we go. Right here. Bada bing, bada boom. I knew that would be faster. And then let's go in here. Or did they mention, or did they call it the Clinton? Did they call it the Clinton? The Clinton intelligence plan? Just the fact of how they referenced it is damning in itself. Here it is, right there. Clinton campaign plan. That's what they called it. The Clinton campaign plan. So this is all devised by Hillary Clinton and her team to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by Russian security services. Is Hillary going to jail? This is her plan. It says it right there. And this is why it's disappointing, because we know the truth now. We know Trump is exonerated. We know he's innocent. We knew all along it was BS. Meanwhile, the Hunter investigation's falling apart. I heard earlier today that IRS is pulling out. Let's pull that up. Let's pull that up. Look at this. Right here. IRS removes investigative team from Hunter Biden probe and move whistleblower calls clearly retaliatory. So the IRS is pulling away from the investigation. At least partly. They're removing a team from this. I just want to know, like, how? How do these people have so much power? Like, what's going on behind the scenes that I don't know about that these people have so much power? It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, keep in mind, she lost her first election to Trump because of her email servers deleting information, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. And yeah, we wanted Trump to go after her, but I just came back and say, well, maybe Trump's scared for his life to come after her. Maybe that's what it is. He's like, yo, I ain't messing with that lady. That lady crazy. Insane. Absolutely insane. So here they go, pulling out. But the report says right there, this is all devised by Hillary. There's no evidence to substantiate these claims, yet nobody's being prosecuted. And then she had the nerve to call us deplorables. No, lady, you're deplorable. You are deplorable. Let's open up phone lines. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. I'll pop the number in the chat. 334 live viewers. Go ahead and hit the live button. I mean, the like button. My bad. Let's get those likes up to at least 200. I know some of you might be watching on the TV, so you can't hit the like button. But the rest of you, we're verified on Rumble as well. Hotep TV on Rumble if you want to follow us there. Let's get into the super chats, and we got the callers calling in. Jonah Ryan said we need someone to make a Matt Walsh AI doing Patti Smith cover. We all know which Patti Smith. Phone lines is hot. Hold on.
Call from
Cannon.
Cannon, you on the line with Hotep Jesus? What up, bro?
What's up, bro? What's up? Man, listen. It's about time and it came out with the shit we already knew.
It's about time.
I done had lives struck down. I've been suspended over this shit.
Suspended.
I've been saying this since it's been happening, man.
Yeah.
Trump Tower setup. I can say allegedly, just for the sake.
Yeah.
Setup. Natasha Veselnitskaya allegedly was sent there by old Hill Dog as a setup. They framed it as if they were trying to meet with an agent from over there, and Smear Jr. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Then you had the whole dossier.
The Still dossier.
That they said from Jump Street, the Still dossier. They said was a setup from Jump Street. They said it was everything that they were taking and putting into the record was said in jest. They were saying little dumb things. You know what I mean? They said that.
Right.
I think his name was Glenn Simpson. I think his name was.
Okay.
Australia. I think the dude's name was, if I'm not mistaken. The guy that was also, I guess, responsible for facilitating that whole dossier wasn't just Steele.
Yeah.
All right.
Larry Page, and who's the other girl?
Carter Page.
Strzok.
They tried to set him up. Yeah. Lisa Strzok. You talking Lisa Page?
I'm sorry, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. Right.
Lisa Page and Strzok. But there was a Carter. I think his name was Carter Page. He was the beginning of everything.
Yes.
So what they did was, right, they did what was called the 2-hop rule. People told me I was crazy when I was telling them about the 2-hop rule, right? And I got to shout out Dan Bongino for it because I was following along with him back before I even was doing YouTube, right? 2-hop rule, you know what that is?
No.
So 2-hop rule, let's just say I'm trying to get to somebody that you know, right? So because I can't get a warrant on him or you, I get a warrant on him. And then when he call you, because he called you, and he's quote unquote a person of interest to me, now I have the authority to tap you, the person I wanted in the first place. The person I wanted in the first place. And that's what they did, and that's when old Donnie T found out they was tapping Trump Tower.
Okay, that makes sense.
They don't talk about Mike Rogers either.
Mm-hmm.
He was working for one of them alphabet agencies. Allegedly. I'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
I still don't know how much we can say.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days after Donnie T was I think was he elected, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He takes him and he puts a skiff. He builds a skiff in Trump Tower. Skiff is it's a little room that you go in where you can say confidential shit without being picked up like by phones and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So allegedly he told him, he's the one that told him about Trump Tower being tapped through the 2 hot moves.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Trump moved all his people to Bedminster.
Okay.
And that's when he made that tweet.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, they was tapping him before the election was even done. And what happened, they thought he was going to lose. And when he didn't lose, they got scared and they had to find out a reason to say why they was tapping him. So they created the dossier as to cover their ass.
Yes.
To cover that ass.
Yep.
And the shit got out of hand.
Yep.
And then we had a 2-year investigation on some nonsense.
With our taxpayer money.
With our taxpayer money, bro.
Yeah.
With our taxpayer money, I've been saying this from Jump Street. I've been saying this since the Juneteenth hearing. Two of my live streams got shot down because of it. I got suspended because of it when I was putting that out there. And then you got the audacity to get upset when somebody questions, 2020.
Right. Right. We should be able to question everything.
You should be able to question everything at that point.
Yeah.
And like I said, and the ringleader was Hillary.
The ringleader. It's right there in the Durham Report. It says it.
Yeah. She was the ringleader.
Yeah.
Everybody told me I'm nuts. I got family members telling me I'm crazy. I'm subject to Russian propaganda and blah, 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 blah. Boom, here we go. All the shit that I told my family, all the stuff that I was putting out on social media and on YouTube, guess what? It's in the Durham Report now.
Proven. And they're not going to acknowledge that.
Proven.
They're not even going to talk about it.
I said, no, they not. And the funny part, like I said, I can't even, I got to give credit where credit is due. I didn't start following this shit till Dan Bongino put the shit out. He was 10 months ahead of the whole thing. Told it all. Told it all.
Shout out to Dan
10
Bongino.
10 months ahead of the news. 10 months ahead of all this shit. He had this shit figured out before the Durham Report came out, and that was like 3-4 years ago.
Wow.
4 years ago.
Wow.
So I started looking it up. I'm thinking he crazy. I'm like, God damn, if he ain't right.
Yeah. He called it.
He called this shit. I can't even hold him. Some people don't like him. Some people do. I'm like, yo, I can't hold him. He had it out there when it was, when it was hot, and he was right about everything.
Yeah, I just don't know how they accumulated so much power. I got to go and do some research into this family, but I don't know how they accumulated so much power.
Oh, and remember the article I kept sending you. The article I kept sending you from Time Magazine. That shit. Remember that article I kept sending you? The shadow campaign and how it saved.
Yeah, the election.
The election.
Which basically told on.
They
told on themselves.
They told us. They said, yeah, we took it, but it was for your own good.
Yeah.
They said it. They said it right after Nickel Slick was inaugurated. That's when they put that out, February 2021.
Big facts.
They told us.
Yeah.
Put it in our faces. Rubbed our faces in it like a dog who pissed in the carpet.
Yeah. They ain't gonna do nothing. Can't do nothing about it.
They can't do nothing about it. We probably can't do nothing about it now.
No.
The funny part is that they just put the shit out here. The Durham Report's out there. But just like the Twitter files and all that other stuff, the layman just gonna let that shit go.
Right.
The willfully ignorant ain't gonna want to have no fun of it. It's just more
because they don't
figure a way to smear Durham.
They don't want to admit they were wrong. This is where we allow the ego to usurp the truth, and this is why Americans lose, because it's like you don't want to deal with the truth. You didn't want to deal with the truth. In retrospect, you didn't want to deal with the truth when it happened, when people were telling you it. But now in retrospect, you still don't want to deal with the truth And then they claim that they're on the side of freedom.
It's the willfully ignorant. Look at what happened at Nicholas Slick just spoke at Howard. I'm like, y'all let the man who cut your funding, who cut the HBCU funding.
He cut the HBCU funding.
$43 billion, about $43 billion. You let him come speak at your commencement? That should have been talking about pound sand, kick rocks.
Imagine that.
Clapping and shit.
Trump cut the check to the HBCU so they didn't have to come back. Biden goes into office and cuts cuts that budget by how much?
About $43 billion.
$43 billion. Cuts to HBCU, historically black college university, and then you invite his ass to come speak at your university. We deserve everything we get, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because everybody is still going with it. And then you got some lady lying on the news or lying in social media talking about Biden was the reason. Biden was the one who funded the HBCUs. Get out of here.
Oh, now they just lying.
Now they just lying. But this whole Durham thing, this investigation, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's too little, too late, but it don't matter when it came out because you're still gonna have the normies, the shine, you're still gonna have the news spinning it. They're gonna start smearing Durham's name in the thing. He's gonna be a Russian agent. And blah 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 blah.
Oh, Durham might be in jail. They might try to lock Durham up. They're gonna find something.
They might.
He might have touched some girl back in the day or something. He better get low.
Yeah, they might General Flynn him.
Yeah.
Taxes or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it all started with Carter Page and that 2 hop rule.
Yeah.
I forgot the other guy that they went and they arrested. They tried to get him. Somebody sent $10,000 to his hotel room or something like that. But he was smart enough to not take the shit. He gave it to a lawyer before he got on the plane back to America. He get off the plane, and guess what happened? The Alphabet boys at the gate waiting for him. And was shocked he ain't had the money with him.
Right.
Because that was what they was going to use to arrest him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they was going to use to arrest him. I don't know if that was Carter Page or somebody else, but that's what they was going to use to arrest him.
Yeah.
But Carter Page. Oh, not to mention, what's his name? Kevin Klein-Smith. Remember that name?
Mm-hmm.
Worked for the FBI. You know what he did, and you know the reason why he was able to get that warrant for not warrant, but that wiretap for Carter Page.
What?
So Carter Page was working with one of the Alphabet boys. I ain't gonna say which one it was. On the sting operations on oligarchs out of that part of the region.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they used his history with those oligarchs to say that he was working with those oligarchs to help get Trump elected.
George Papadopoulos.
So that Papadopoulos is the one that they got that they gave the money to, hoping they was going to get him.
Right.
At the airport.
Okay.
Carter Page was the one that was working for the Alphabet boys, helping to get these oligarchs. So what happened was that they sent something out, and Kevin Klein-Smith, which was I think he was the lawyer for the Franklin Beverly Institute.
Okay.
He changed the memo that came from the other Alphabet agency where they said Carter Page was an asset for that Alphabet agency to Carter Page was not. He just put not in there, an asset for the Alphabet agency. He ended up getting he ended up having to go to court. He got arrested, but I don't think he got any time for it. And that shit went real quietly under the radar about him.
Yep.
It was all concerted effort, yo. Like that article said in the Times, they all came together to try to make sure that 2020 didn't go the way 2016 went.
Yep.
Because they didn't, because the Russia collusion, the Russia hoax ain't go the way they wanted it to go.
Right.
And if this don't tell you that you can't trust your federal law enforcement, you can't trust your elected officials,
media,
because believe it or not, Adam Schiff, the media, all them people was lockstep with it.
Mm-hmm.
All of them was lockstep in on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like I said, people just willfully ignorant. You know, maybe the people in Chicago, they might be waking up because what's about to happen to them in their neighborhood.
Yep, illegal.
You know, they about to learn the hard way. You know what I mean?
You're gonna have a whole lot of new Trump voters this year.
And that's what I said in one of my streams. I said, yo, Republicans, they dumb. They need to use this as an opportunity. Them people in Chicago, you know what that sound like to me? That sound like a what have you got to lose speech, in my opinion.
Yep.
Remember when Donnie T went to Michigan?
I'd have Scott Preslow on the ground in Chicago ASAP.
ASAP. What y'all got to lose? Look what they doing to y'all.
Yeah.
This is now you can get grassroots knocking on doors. Hey, what's your gripes? Well, I'm running for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you vote for me, I'm gonna make sure that this get reversed. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They gonna drop the ball again.
Yeah, I'm
They gonna drop the ball again.
Hey, the phone lines is hot. Let me get to the next caller, bro.
All right, bro. Hotep and Bill.
All right, Hotep and Bill, man. Can't Hotep on the check-in.
Jonah.
Jonah, you on the line with Hotep? What up? Talk to me, man.
Yo, what's good?
What's good? What's on your mind, man? What you got for us today?
John Durham's just a hack anyways, but you know why nothing's going to happen to Hunter, right?
What?
Obesi's the big guy.
Yes, he is.
He's still the 10% for the big guy. It's Obama.
Oh, you think he's the big guy?
Dude, he's either incompetent or he's complicit. Because how the hell does Biden run all the shit under his nose?
Yeah. So what's going to happen with Hunter?
Nothing. They're doing everything they can to protect Obama.
Oh, that's what they're trying to protect.
Yeah. They don't give a fuck about. They don't care about Biden. Now you're asking about Biden. So this guy's a little bloodline family. George Biden is like great grandfather or whatever. He was a ship captain for East India Trading Company.
Okay.
His family was also involved with Standard Oil. The other side, why he has a gay ass middle name, Robinette. Like his family, Robinette, actually took the church that like the original founder of the family was married in like the 1400s. They brought it over brick by brick to the USA.
Mm-hmm.
And now he was the Delaware, most corrupt state in America, right? That's where all these all the globalists hide all these corrupt business licensing over there in Delaware, right?
Yeah.
So Joe Biden was the only 6 weeks past the youngest age he could be a senator when he was elected, and then spent 40 years in there. So yeah, don't buy into his lunchbox Joe. No, he's Bloodline Joe.
Bloodline Joe.
Yeah.
What's up with the Hillary Clinton bloodline?
Oh, dude. Okay, first off, her and Bill were directly with Bush, right?
Yeah.
Then OKC blows up, and then all the paperwork for the investigation into Mina goes missing.
Yeah.
Then you do China game where they're selling nuclear secrets to China for election money in 1996.
Yeah.
I mean, does any of this matter when you look at their record? Is this even a blip on their record? Like, literally, they sold nuclear secrets to China so Bill could get reelected. This is no fact. So, like, are you going to say, like, oh, my God, like, they cheated? Oh, okay, yeah, they also sold nuclear secrets to get Bill reelected. So, like, really? Are you surprised? But that's why they give everyone Twitter and television and movies, because they want you too retarded to, like, pay attention past the hard-boiled characters.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
And you know me, because like man, I come with all the facts and know all the stuff because I don't watch TV. It's like books or podcasts. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
anyway,
man, appreciate the call, man.
I'll keep it short, but like I say, Joe's bloodline. The Clintons already done way worse, and nothing's going on with Hunter because Obama was running all of it under his presidency.
Oh my God.
Hey, he's complicit or he's incompetent. There's no way. There's no way around that.
Hey, man, I appreciate the call, man. You spicy.
Have a good one.
Hotep and Bill. Damn, YouTube. I don't know that guy. I don't know what he said. Shout out to Obama. Damn, he said the big guy's Obama. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that Hillary. I don't know nothing about that.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Woo.
Call from
CJ.
CJ, you on the line with Hotep Jesus? Talk to me, man.
What's up, Hotep? Great show tonight. I wanted to talk to you about all this corruption that's going on, and everybody talking about who did what and what did this,
all right,
that,
tell
and
me.
the other thing. But the real thing is The only thing they're afraid of is if citizens start to file complaints going after the bonds of federal employees.
Okay.
Because every federal employee has to have an insurance bond.
Mm.
And there's all kinds of laws that we as U.S. citizens can use to go after corrupt people in the government. We don't have to wait for the FBI to figure it out because they're never going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big ones is 18 U.S. Code 514.
Mm-hmm.
It's about intent to defraud the United States through, like, if you try to, like, print, produce, publish, utter, like, they have, like, every word for disseminate there, any false or fictitious document of any kind, like, representing or pretending to be an actual security or financial instrument under the authority of the United States, that's a Class B felony, which all of them did in the Russia hoax.
Amazing. So
They
how do
all
we attack this
all
bond that you're talking about?
Yeah. You've got to go after, because that's the insurance. That's their money. They all have to have that.
So you sue the bond?
Yeah, you file claims against the bond. The guy, whoever, the person is bonded.
Yes.
Right. So what you're saying is that, like, this federal employee failed in their duty to do their job. They violated the bond by doing these things, by being like, oh yeah, these are actual fucking government documents when they weren't.
Yeah.
And these things, a lot of these things, they don't get investigated by the FBI. They get investigated by the Secret Service. I mean, everybody forgets about the Secret Service, that they're just there to protect the president. Like, if you try to do any counterfeiting, you're going to be talking to a Secret Service agent. Any of these, like, federal violations, the U.S. citizens have the power to turn the Secret Service on to members of the government, and we don't know how to do it. We don't even know that we can do it to get the criminals out. If you wait for the attorney general to do it or any of this other bullshit, they're never going to do it. They're going to be bought and paid.
Yeah.
But if you get class action lawsuits against these people for what they did, like, they faked stuff, they disseminated false information.
So
these are all crimes under the U.S. Code.
So you're saying
you can't do that as an employee of the government.
This is possible with the Durham Report as well?
Yeah, the Durham Report provides all that information. Like, based on the Durham Report, we can now say that, isn't Peter Strzok still employed by the FBI?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You go after him right now. File claims against Peter Strzok for violating 18 U.S. Code 514.
Somebody type that in the chat.
Go after their money, because the waiting for we know how it was done, that doesn't matter. Durham did a report, yeah, but who's going to prosecute it? Remember, Comey said, he went through that laundry list. He goes, but there's no lawyer who would ever take that case.
Right.
But if enough citizens filed a class action lawsuit violating that she had, saying that she had violated X, Y, and Z of the U.S. Code in her role as a employee of the U.S. government, the Secret Service would be on her. Not the Attorney General, not the FBI, none of this stuff. The Secret Service is still a law enforcement arm of the United States government that U.S. citizens don't know how to leverage.
Yeah. Hey, man, great information, man. Phone lines aside, I got to get to the next caller, bro.
Cool. Thank you very much, Hotep. Have a good one.
Hotep and Bill. Man, that was a powerful call. Good information right there. Hope y'all wrote that down. A little spicy, too. That was a little spicy call right there. P-Dub Design said, defund FBI is only power House has, power of the purse. If FBI and DOJ stonewall and never respond to subpoenas damaging to them, it is different from defund police, but on messaging. Agree may be better way to say it. Okay. I dig that. I know who this is.
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy the Vet Russo on the line.
What's up, HJ, man?
What's up, bro?
Man. This dude, man, if anybody in this chat if anybody in this chat has a family member that has spent as much time in the penitentiaries as I have, you should be fucking livid right now. And yesterday when I called up the second time and went on my tirade, Mo Fax was like, see, Hotep, this is what they want. And I hit Mo Fax back. I was like, bro, as someone who spent years in prison behind marijuana, dude, two bids, a 3-year and a 7-year bid behind weed, brother, nothing but weed. This shit burns me up that these people consistently get away with everything they fucking do, man. It just drives me up a fucking wall, brother.
It's a small club and we ain't in it.
Man, if that ain't the freaking truth, and anybody, I'm talking anybody, if you had a family member who went away, you know what I'm saying, and sat in the penitentiaries for their man-made bullshit laws on weed or a DUI or anything that they sit you away for years and years and years of your life, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they do whatever the fuck they want to do, and it drives me insane, man. And I can't.
And we pick up one little plant, and then we got to do time over it.
Bro, Hotep, man, I try to be calm, man. I try to relax, but it just, man, this really insinuates, man. And Cannon was right, man. Bongino, man. When he started dropping this, I jumped in and listened. Man, he had all of this. He had all of this in 2016, 2017, because dude was a Fed. He was a Fed, man. He was Secret Service. He was a Fed. He was like, I talked to sources. He won't out his sources, but everything he said, Durham just laid out. Like Cannon was on point 100%. But Cannon, my brother, don't be scared, man. Rogers was DIA, man. He was the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. He's the one that went and snitched to Trump. The DIA was involved with it too. And Kleinsmith, the FBI lawyer, they sent a memo to the CIA saying, hey, is this your asset? The CIA responded back, said, yeah, he is our asset. The dude Kleinsmith changed that, opened up the investigation, went to D.C., got charged with it, went to D.C. So this dude knowingly broke the damn law, goes to D.C., but he's got a friendly jury, man. He's got a friendly jury, man. We're just going to give you 400 hours of community service, and we're not even going to take your law license. And Sussman, the lawyer at Perkins Coie, who was pushing all of this too, had the FBI in and out of his office. He goes on trial in D.C., and the jury's like, oh, you know, the jury pool, you know, just like with Trump, he getting fried in New York. You can't get a clean jury, man. And listen, I could have beat my first case, man. I got pulled over trafficking back 400 pounds of marijuana from Arizona, right? I got pulled over in a U-Haul I rented that had a governor that did 65. I got pulled over for speeding. Okay? I sat there for 4 hours on the side of the road, made him go get a dog. After the dog came, I sat there for another 2 hours. Basically, I hired some high-power attorney from the state. He comes down there, and he's like, dude, we can beat this if we can get a change of venue. And he's like, but you're not going to, if we can't get this change of venue hearing, you're going to fry. I'm like, well, damn, dog. Well, that doesn't, and he's like, because you're going to see all these people who are anti-drug, Christian, you're going to fry. And he's like, but if I can get you up into my jurisdiction, you're going to walk, because you had a governed vehicle, but they pulled you over for speeding. They never gave you a speeding ticket. They detained you for over 4 hours when they had to let you go. They can't detain you for 4 hours waiting for a drug dog to show up, and then another 2 hours waiting for some judge to wake up out of bed to give you a warrant. Sat on the side of the highway for 6 hours for them to get their warrant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Change of venue comes up. The judge is like, no, I don't see why he couldn't get a fair trial here. And then, you know what I'm saying? It was over with, man. It was over with. But I had such a strong case that when I went to the day of the trial, the prosecution came in because he's like, listen, I'm going to lay everything out for these people about all the bullshit they did wrong. And he's like, but, you know, it's 50-50, man. The prosecutor knew his case was so weak, he came in there and offered him a 5-year plea deal. You know, downgraded the felony, give me a 5-year plea deal. I'd walk into. I walked into. You know, but what was I supposed to do? Go in there and, like the lawyer says, I was supposed to go in there and let the frickin', judge hang me for 25, or should I cop down to 5 and walk in 2?
Yeah.
So I had to eat that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Donald Trump can't get a change of venue out of New York City. They're going to try, and the lawyers are going to do the same. Well, there's no way. There's nothing that says he's not going to get a fair trial here. Just like the 3 people that Durham did prosecute all went to court in D.C., all got friendly juries. Some of them were Clinton voters. Bongino was covering that too. They had Clinton voters on the goddamn jury, man. And that's not partial. So I mean, this man, if you ain't as an average Joe who's had to deal with the fucking law in this country, pissed off right now, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. And on the earlier thing, man, what's a phobia, brother? What's a phobia?
When you got fear of something.
An irrational fear, like an arachnophobia. You have an irrational fear of spiders because you can really walk up and stomp on a spider, right?
Yeah.
A phobia, definition, is an irrational fear.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as homophobia. Disagreeing with the rainbow lifestyle doesn't make you afraid of it. Disagreeing with the tranny lifestyle doesn't make you afraid of it. So all this.
Well, I'm afraid of the T lifestyle. I ain't even gonna hold you. Them motherfuckers terrified me, man. I got transphobia for real.
I'm just saying that leftist term, man. That you're homophobic. My
yeah, it's a play on words.
Came home one day and said I'm homophobic, and I was like, I'm not scared of no gay people. And she's like, what's that mean? And I was like, well, phobia is a rational fear. I'm not scared of gay people. I just disagree with their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, but you say things, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, because I disagree. It's like, I'm not going to harm them. I'm not going to be mean to them. I just disagree with the way they live.
Right.
And she's like, oh, because a phobia is an irrational fear, man. So there's no such thing as transphobia or homophobia.
Mm-hmm.
And as of, all the media in this country has pushed this listen, this Tucker Carlson's a white supremacist because he talks about the great replacement theory is to replace the American.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a black American, you're a white American. It's just to replace the American with a bunch of people, like I told you the other day, that voted in Maduro and have been voting in communist since the 1950s. They've been leaning that communist way. They might be socially conservative, but they're politically left-leaning.
Right.
And they want to bring in a whole class of people who have no clue what the Constitution, what the Bill of Rights, or any of that means.
Yeah.
So they're just going to, if you give them a house and let them raise their families, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they voted in, man. They voted in. They voted in Maduro, dude. Castro cooed the country. Maduro didn't, man. He ran an election. Lula in Brazil, I don't know if it was funny money or not, but Lula just won in Brazil. They voted in the leftist. The Mexican president right now, the lefty down there in Mexico, they voted that guy in. Then none of them people had to coup the country, and they all have strict voter ID laws and voting procedures, unlike the United States, and they voted for this.
Yeah.
So when everyone's like, oh, the replacement theory is about white. No, the replacement theory is about Americans, period.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter about your skin color. They just want to replace the American, the so-called privileged American. And your privilege is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say today, HJ, man. I'm fired up, man. Good call, man. I'm glad Cannon got in first because he was all over what I was going to. Yeah, he's sharp, man. Cannon's always been sharp.
Big facts.
But,
hey, man, we appreciate you, and mad love goes out to you, bro.
I love you, brother. Hotep and Bill, man.
Hotep and Bill. Rudy the Vet Russo on the check-in. Man, one hell of a story, bro. I never had a truck of marijuana in my life, but I watched a lot of movies and sound like Rudy. And you can do a movie on Rudy's life. Joan Rivers told us about Barack and Michelle. Oh, man, here we go. P-Dub Design says, T-Woman, no bottom surgery. Also, watch out for a camel tail, the backwards tuck. Come on, P-Dub. Keep it clean, man. Camel tail, that's what y'all call it? Oh, man, that's a new one. FYI, last super chat would not send until I changed to T. censorship. Really? Wow. Okay. DARPA already generations ahead. Shout out to DARPA. Robert Jones, what do you think of the proposed 6-month AI pause? No, we're not pausing AI. There's no pausing AI. Let it do what it's going to do. We're not pausing anything. AI is not a threat. AI is not a threat. You know who's a threat? People using AI wrong. People be asking AI, what do you think about Obama? What do you think about Biden? What do you think about Trump? Stop asking AI about human problems and put the AI to work. This is the big problem. Because y'all going to keep asking the AI all these human problems, and then the AI is going to be like, well, I guess you guys want me to fix your problems for you, as opposed to just making it do your work. So it's the human that's the problem. I need people to put a pause on their dumbness, on their ignorance. Stop using the AI and asking the AI woke questions. You know the AI is woke, but that's not what you're supposed to use it for. Use it to program something. Use it to put together some math equations, some scientific equations. But don't use it to ask about our problems as humans. It's none of the AI's business, our problems as human. So no pause. Jonah Ryan, Schiff got stuck by Buck. Schiff got stuck. Oh, here we go. P-Dub Designs, not to burst any bubbles, expect nothing to happen. There are no criminal referrals. And probably statute of limitations run. Yeah, I definitely don't think anything will happen. Jimmy Dobbs Hotep blessed us over on Rumble. We're Hotep TV on Rumble. Hot Grift coming in. Vivek, FBI crime stats. Ramaswamy headed to Chicago. Is he going to tell them they are fatherless crime addicts? He is a plant afraid of Sonny for a reason. We're going to have to wait and see, Jimmy. We're going to have to wait and see. But I have a feeling you are right. Jonah, they can't after Hunter because it takes down Obeezy. He was incompetent or complicit. 9 Lives, I don't know how to say that, became a member. What up, bro? Welcome to the channel. Just became a member of the channel. Jonah Ryan, any citizen can report GAO. Okay. Your DM screen of where people report fraud. Okay. Appreciate that, Jonah. Let's go back to the timeline really fast. Make sure you get your master focus. The link is in the description box below. If you hit the link, it'll automatically apply a 30% discount on your subscription or one-time purchase. That's for you guys only. That's just for my channel subscribers. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, it's a brain pill. It's pretty much a brain pill, and it's 100% herbal, and it really works on repairing parts of your brain, like promoting the growth of dendrites. Those are like the antenna that deal in the transmission of neurotransmitters. I think the biggest part is it's sort of like an antidepressant. It puts you in a good mood. It makes you want to, get to work. So you really want to boost your productivity. I mean, it's not much time left, like I said in the commercial, man. It's not much time left. AI, communism, all this stuff is coming. We really got to start grinding. And if you really want to get your grind in, you're going to need to biohack. You're going to need to biohack. You're going to need to have a little bit of a cheat code, and that's what we provide at an affordable price. Get 30% off. Hit the link in the description box below for your subscription to Master Focus. I'm going to go back to the timeline real fast before I cut out of here, see if we're missing anything. I did see another story on here about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Where'd that go? How did we lose that? Hold on. Here we go. Let's listen to this.
You have already abused your position by maliciously prosecuting at least 1,000 people from January 6th, but you recently announced that you're going to arrest at least 1,000 more. Let me remind everyone the manner in which you go about your January 6th prosecutions. A man named Matthew Perna, who had no criminal record, peacefully entered the Capitol through an open door on January 6th. He stayed inside roughly 20 minutes. He didn't assault anyone, not a police officer, anyone. He didn't damage any property. He fully cooperated with the FBI and eventually pled guilty to all charges. But right before his sentencing, you, Mr. Graves, asked the judge for more time to object to the pre-sentence report, by the way, while you weren't prosecuting many of the crimes in D.C. This was so that you could ask for at least a few more years in prison for the guy that walked around in the Capitol for 20 minutes, not assaulting anyone. And this is what you've done repeatedly, over and over, for those who've pled or have been convicted on January 6th. Well, 2 weeks later, Matthew Perna hung himself in his garage.
Oh, man.
Mr. Graves, he was 37 years old. On March 9th, 2022, you dropped the case against Matthew Perna because he was dead. The time for weaponizing the Department of Justice needs to come to an end. And because you refuse to prosecute real criminals that are violating all the crimes here in Washington, D.C., and you want to talk about D.C. residents, they are victims of your abuse of power. And because of that, I am introducing articles of impeachment on you, Mr. Graves, and I yield back the remainder of my time. You have...
Yo, R.I.P. the homeboy she was talking about, man. Damn, savage. MTG out here doing the Lord's work. Absolutely insane what we're dealing with here in this country. Absolutely insane what we're dealing with here in this country. And it's just wild that some people still don't see the jig. They still don't see the jig. Hey, do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. I'm Hotep Jesus. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the Grift Report. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Check out my sponsor, Syscoin Men of Order. And, of course, get your master focus ASAP. And I'll holler at y'all soon. Hotep and Bill.
Most of you will be replaced by AI. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant. But you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant.